your biggest frustration with drain lines?
They clog.
Yes, they clog. Why do they clog up?
Stagnant water.
Stagnant water, absolutely. You're in one of the most humid climates around, so you have the most humidity you're pulling out. Plus, something's unique about your drains here that you don't have almost anywhere else. And if you've only been here, you've only seen this one way of doing it. You may think that's the only way of doing it. What's different about your drains here?
Long.
Yes, they're long. So because you're using all of that underground as your trap, you're holding a lot more water. So yeah, you're gonna have more drain issues. Now, that's combined. It's a bigger issue now than before. What's changed in the last so many years between now and before?
Aluminum coils.
Aluminum coils, yes. So copper is actually a really good thing to help prevent growth and things like that. It's an actual, there's a scientific word for it. It's,
Ionizes.
I don't know that ionizing is the right word. It has to do with like antimicrobial growth system. It's like a natural thing. And so now that we've removed the copper out of it, we also don't have to worry about the electrolysis happening on the metals. But now we have more growth. More growth now than ever before. So yeah, aluminum coils, more leaks, more growth, more of that fun stuff to deal with. So, anybody worked with cooling towers before?
Yeah.
Cooling towers. What's one thing you have to deal with cooling towers?
Huge water collection, Legionnaire disease.
Yes, Legionnaire, huge thing. So what do you do to combat that?
Kind of just like make sure you're flushing out the water so it's like not stagnant, like basically like a sinus flush almost, like if you will.
They got chemical treatments. They're constantly putting chemical treatments in, and your chemical person is key to making it happen. So tons of chemicals. Is there an alternative to chemicals you use for cooling towers? Have you heard of that before? One of the things they actually do is they take pure bars of silver and put them in cooling towers as a natural antimicrobial thing. Side note, if you ever work with cooling towers, wear gloves, wear your whole PPE, because there's a guy that worked his whole life in cooling towers, got a little nick, got some kind of a flesh-eating thing in there, and almost lost his entire arm. He was 6 months in the hospital itself. Took several years to recover. So if you're working with cooling towers, if you ever decide to do that, yeah, make sure you're completely protected on that side note. But yes, so pure bars of silver. Now, we're going to be putting pure bars of silver in our drain lines here? No, because as soon as the Florida man finds out about that, he'll be coming in and stealing drain lines on top of condensers, right? So, is there an alternative that we could use? Anything you know of? What's that?
Copper.
Copper. Also, what about when you have that little bit of brazing rod left at 15% silver, and you're like, I could braze these back together, and or I could just leave it in the dirt, right? I mean, that's you go around any condenser. There's always a little pieces there. If you a few options. One is in your drain pan. If you put that little piece right there in that drain pan, it will help. I'm not saying it's going to solve all the problems, but it will help reduce that growth. And sometimes I like to take little pieces, little sticks, and I like to drop them into the drain line where they're sitting here in that water. And if you get it too small, it'll flush out when the next person flushes it. But if you stick a little bit of a rod in there where it can't fully bend, it will not solve all the problems. Helps reduce some of that from happening. Helps reduce some of that growth from building up in there. Little things to do. Now, this brazing rod, what happens if it's touching, or even a piece of copper helps, but if you put a piece of copper or brazing rod in, you don't want it to touch the aluminum on that coil. Why is that?
Electrolysis.
Electrolysis, yes, electrolysis. That's exactly right. Electrolysis, you're going to actually start having a hole form in that aluminum right there where it touches. So some things like that will work. Now, if you're having one of the constant issues, we know we got things, automatic systems that will feed in. What's another thing to do? Like say there's no room to get the automatic system or the customer doesn't want to pay for that specifically. Is there anything else you could do that we've kind of talked about to help mitigate some of the drain issues?
If we can run a new drain.
New drain, if that's possible. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I always love that. And now, do you know they have drain lines now that are copper impregnated? If I had to run an entire new drain line, it's expensive, but I would be looking at running that's green, so you know the difference in it. But yeah, I was super skeptical of that. I'm like, And then I've talked to some people, it's like, no, it really works. So, just saying it's an option, it's out there. If you have drain issues and you had to go over an entire new drain line, that'd be one of the things that I would consider. There's also another option you have, is where your drains come out, and we've always used PVC and their little caps. You could actually replace the PVC sections with copper. Soft solder, if you braze that, I've seen so many drain pans, especially in commercial, where the drain pans all melted away because they overheated it. You have to learn how to heat control, soft solder, etc. But if you run it with copper, it's another way that helps reduce some of the drainage. And I keep saying reduce, right? It's not solving every single problem, but it reduces it. Now, one of the questions I haven't replaced line sets before. On the slab of the house, you have chases that the lines run through?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, where that chase runs through, is the PVC ran in that chase with it, or is the PVC ran separate? In the chase, they run hard PVC with it. Okay. Has anybody ever tried, just not saying to do this, just has anybody tried digging a hole here and burying a valve box, taking the drain out and putting a little 90 on it?
Yeah, I've been to a couple mansions that have that.
Yeah? Did it work good?
I mean, that's another thing where I have to clean the algae out to make sure that the main's draining, but it worked for the most part. But usually what would be beneficial to the customer is that would overfill versus the house. But,
Right.
And that's what they would like about it.
So the idea behind this is you would put gravel and stuff here. Here you have so much sandy soil it drains really well anyways. But you have to tape up or seal metal over the holes at the bottom. But you have a valve box. You have to put an actual trap inside. But that way this isn't holding all that water. The water drains into the valve box down here. It has time to seep in. And if it does rain, overflow fills up, it just overflows out of that hole where you put your finger in, just like it normally would. But the idea is having a 9 gun, it keeps bugs and stuff out of being able to crawl in there as easy. Nothing is perfect. Nothing solves all these problems, but it's just things that can help. So it's just other ideas that you have of, hey, how can we solve these other issues?
How far down does it go? Because when we're doing drain cleaning.
Valve boxes are about that deep, so you want to keep the top level. And so we just take a shovel, we just dig them out, drill a hole in the side wherever the drain comes out, put a little 90 on there. And the 90 is just to keep other things from crawling in as easy. Like,
Easier to do testing with the drain.
yes. And then when you do maintenance, just shot back that out so you can turn the 90 up to shot back the lines out. But it's just instead of that water having to sit and go back up and over, it just allows it to have a bigger place to go. Some people even take that further and fill this, like some of the places I'm from, it's a dirt called caliche, and it doesn't seep water, it just holds it. And so we'd have to actually make the hole bigger, and we'd have to bury a bunch of rocks and gravel, and then put sand, and then we'd put it in because the caliche just wouldn't seep. From what I'm seeing here, you got sand that just like,
Yeah.
which just makes it super hard to go to grass, right? It's just wicks it away fast. But just some other options for getting that water out. Just not saying, hey, these are no policy things. It's just, hey, you're having these issues, some things you might be able to try. Other things, other services. We know there's not one size fits all. There's best practices, but there's not one size fits all in it. So what's your procedure for cleaning out a drain line?
Shot back outside.
Shot back outside. Okay, so we just stick a shot back outside, and it just magically clears.
Pour some water down, dish.
How much water do we pour down?
30 dish on the side, and then clear water outside.
It's clear.
I like what type of clear water?
I can see through it.
I like Cleveland's clear water. That's the best clear water. All right, so you have the shot back hooked up out here, and you got your hose hooked up in here, and you're pulling. How much water are you pulling through there?
A lot.
A lot. How much is a lot?
How much is 4 or 5 gallons?
45 gallons.
4 or 5.
Okay, 4. That's good. All right, so we got one of 4 to 5 gallons. All right, who else? Who else has the number?
Do about 6 sometimes.
6 sometimes. Okay.
Depends how dirty it is. If it's real dirty, I'll do 6 or 8.
6 or 8. Okay. I'm really disappointed you didn't say 6 or 7, but we'll take it. All right, why is running the water through there? What is that doing?
Everything off the walls.
Is it flushing everything off the walls just by having the water go through?
Or with the shot back.
It's the velocity of the water, the speed of that water. As you're putting the water through with the shot back, how fast it's moving, the velocity. Just like refrigerant carries oil with the speed, as you're putting that water through, the velocity of that water helps loosen those things up. So it's the speed of that water flowing through and also the volume of that water. So consistently putting in the water and having it pull through the shot back, you're trying to push all of that other stuff off of there. Now, is there any type of cleaner or chemicals that you're using with that? What's that?
The Viper.
Viper! Man, I love Viper. So you guys had a chance to meet John? John with Viper? Can't remember his last name, just went drew a blink. Pretty cool guy. He is an HVAC guy, an HVAC person. Was like, hey, I want to come up with other safer ways. So he came up with has the enzymes that dissolve. And there's another company that has one too that works pretty well. But you want to stay away from things like bleach. Don't put bleach in the drain line. And the customer's like, hey, we put bleach in. It's like, let's not put the bleach in. Why do we want to avoid bleach?
It leaves a residue.
It does leave a residue, yes. And it can also, even the fumes from the bleach can get back into the airstream of the house. There are people that are actually allergic to bleach, but it's still not good for anybody. But also the bleach can cause more chemical reactions on the coils and end up causing more leaks. I talked to one guy in Texas about that, and he goes, yeah, no, I know that. And you're still using bleach? He goes, yeah, because it causes the coils to leak faster and sell more units. I said, oh, no. So yeah, so we don't stay away from bleach, but things like that works good. I had one drain line before that I went out. I flushed the whole entire drain line out and poured a whole bunch of water through, running great. And they called me a few hours later, came back. It was put the nitrogen in there, pow, and then it flowed good. Poured a whole bunch of water, shot back was clean. Called me back again, same thing happened 3 times, 3 callbacks, and the same one about the drain lines. What do you think the problem was?
Double trap.
Nope, wasn't double trapped. Well, there was a double trap, but it had an air vent between it. Good thought. I love the thought process. Right on.
Pitch of the unit.
Pitch of the unit. Good. Your thought process. You're looking for the pitch unit, but it wasn't what the problem was in this case.
Was it like the calcified stuff?
No calcified stuff, because there shouldn't be any calcium since there's not actual city water.
Like the growth, like
Turn hard.
yeah, when
Sometimes when a lot of people they'll clean like from the T, they don't necessarily clean the elbow from the goes to the unit.
That's true. That happens a lot. That wasn't the case here. I love this thought process.
You didn't use hot water.
Oh, I didn't use hot water. Do you guys use hot water when you flush out? Cool.
Ideally.
Good. Excellent. So let's make a little note there. Hot water.
Was it polytube collapsing?
There you go. That does happen. The polytube, especially if there's a kink underneath here. Somebody's trying to get the line up. Like, just
Or
get
you
this
was
up
freezing
there.
up.
It wasn't freezing. I love this. The interaction. This is good.
Got
There was actually slugs, snails without shells, and they were getting in here, and they were all getting together, clogging up the drain line. And then when I pushed the nitrogen through, it separated them. It pushed them out, but not all the way out. And then it would flow good, and then it took them a few hours to all get back together and then clog it back up again. Only happened one time in 30 years, super rare thing, but sometimes the point is not to look for slugs, but to think sometimes things outside the box, sometimes things happen, and you're having to constantly come up with new creative solutions for that. Now, in other parts of the country, they have a big issue with the traps aren't deep enough, and so bad static airflow pulls the water out of the trap. Luckily, because you have your ginormously long traps from Hades, you don't have to worry about that at least, right? You just have to worry about the drain stopping up all the time. And it's super, super aggravating, but if you guys are doing the hot water, pouring a lot through there, that's going to solve most of the issues. And then, yes, things like the slope, making sure the unit's draining the right way. I see a lot of times where the units aren't supported correctly, and the unit itself starts to lean over. There was, sometimes I have some elderly customers and they couldn't afford to have that fixed, because how do you fix that? You know, you have to pull it out and fix it, all right? That had some elderly customers that couldn't afford that. Like here, you have elderly customers that are rich and have multiple houses. Texas elderly customers mean like, hey, I'm gonna get cat food or medicine. And so I used to go to the wrecking yard, and I would grab an old car jacks, and I used to actually put a car jack and a brick under here, and I would jack them back up. Be like, hey, look, don't tell anybody I did this, but at least now you can have your unit draining. But when everybody has to sell on the units, it's like a solve, temporary, you know, but it's temporary until the kids took over the house. Anyway, so yeah, the water would all pull on this side. So if we can make the water flow to that side, you know, yeah, it's gonna have a big deal, kind of improvement.
Thanks for watching. If you're willing, give this video a thumbs up and drop us a comment. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated with all of our future videos. And as a quick reminder, HVAC School isn't just a YouTube channel. Dive deeper with us at our main website, hvacrschool.com. Curious for more knowledge on the go? We've got you covered. Tune into the HVAC School podcast, available on all your favorite podcast apps. And while you're at it, join our thriving Facebook group. Also, don't miss out on our free mobile applications available for both iPhone and Android. We're all about community, for techs, by techs.